All right, it's about a quarter to midnight. We're just going to do this storm update here, and you can see here's our storm continuing to intensify offshore. Looking at the radar right now, we're dealing with some pretty heavy rain across the area. You can see it's really coming down across most of Long Island right now, between Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk County, except maybe a little further east. It's a little lighter, but it's pretty heavy in most of Long Island right now. Again, you can see if you're in New Jersey, south of I-195, you're not really dealing with much rain at all. It's also pouring in the city as well, in the Hudson Valley. And you can see as you go north now, it looks like there's finally getting into some of that heavier snow up in Albany. And you can see all this this whole storm here is just very active right now. Looking at our current observations across the area, you can see here that we have the wind gusts starting to pick up a little bit now. Starting to see some wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour or so. Nothing too crazy yet. Looking at this buoy here, you can see there's a 29 mile an hour wind gust. The seas are up to 11 feet, almost 12 feet already. So they're definitely on their way up for sure. As we go into New England, the winds are worse here. This is where the worst the winds are going to be. See some 30 plus mile an hour wind gusts here. Like I said, it's just starting as far as the wind goes. This buoy here, east at 27, gusting to 36. And the wave height is 8.5 feet. And looking at, again, we've got nothing really too crazy yet. Let's go upstate, see if we can find some snow reports. Let's see if there's any snow being observed yet up there. No observation. Let's see. Montgomery Outport, light snow. So it is light snow in Orange County right now. So it is snowing up that way. And then as we go into Albany, this is where we'll see some of the heavier snow. To go to an actual site here. Albany International is reporting light snow. So light snow and 34 degrees. It's going to be a very wet snow that's going to fall inland, and that's why it's going to be very damaging to the power lines. I explained to you before in the other weather update. Of course, we have a coastal flood advisory in effect, wind advisory for Suffolk County, gale warning for the offshore waters. And let's go and look at some of the models and see. Maybe we can get some new model information into this right now, because now we have the 0Z models to work with that we can look at. So this is the 0Z GFS model. And nothing really much has changed here. You can see where the dark blues are. They're inland, and that's where they're going to get hammered with lots of snow. But for us, I just don't think we're going to see much of anything. You can see here we are. It's in the Gulf of Maine by tomorrow afternoon, and then it does its little U-turn, so to speak, heads south and almost southwest. That keeps those precipitation chances with us till into tomorrow evening. Then finally slowly moves away as we get into Wednesday. And that is what the GFS is showing. Let's go to the HRRR, because we did not have the 0Z run of the HRRR to look at in the last weather update. So let's go and look at this. So again, heavy rain continues, ends around sunrise, and then you say, oh, it's over, but it's not over, because what's going to happen is, again, this low is going to go into the Gulf of Maine, and then we're going to get more moisture wrapped around it. And this is what we could be dealing with, periods of mixed precipitation tomorrow, a mix of light snow and light rain lingering throughout the day. So tomorrow is going to be pretty crappy, too, with dealing with this. Again, this is kind of a longer duration type of storm, which is what makes it annoying. But as far as any accumulation snow go, because that's going to fall mostly during daylight hours, I just don't see how we're going to get see like one little area of sleet in there, but I just don't see how we're going to get much snow from this. And then finally, again, moves east slowly on Wednesday. So I'll see if there's any new total snowfall accumulation. Yeah, you can see it's just not much of anything really. Most of Suffolk gets nothing, and like I said, that North Shore area, North Shore Queens to the North Shore Nassau, that's where you could see maybe 1 inch. That's what I think. But you can see it's going to be up in the interior where you're going to get the heavier snowfall totals. The issue is not going to be the snow with this; it's going to be the wind and it's going to be the rain. That's what's going to be the issue. If we go to the wind, which we'll look at now, you'll see the strong winds that are going to develop. You got to remember, this thing doesn't really bomb out until, excuse me, tomorrow morning, until Tuesday morning. So about 6 hours from now, that's when we'll start seeing this thing really take off. And I mean, it's starting to, but it's going to reach its height tomorrow. The intensity of this center of low pressure system, you can see it's almost, there's a second low here that's kind of like pulling, and it's very unusual to see this. But you can see that second low pulling it in, and then making this whole circle, and then going back out the way it came. It's really unusual. But you can see the strong winds. The worst of the wind is going to be in that New England area. You can see right in this north part of the storm here. But we're still going to be dealing with some pretty strong winds tomorrow. And then that winds up moving on out. Let's go to the... let me put this back over here. And we'll take a look at some of the dynamics tomorrow in this HRRR as far as looking at some soundings. So here's the sounding. And again, you can see we're above freezing at the surface. It's just hard to get snow to happen at that. I mean, we very well may see flakes mixed in, but it shows rain mixed into. And this is around 5 o'clock now, and you can see the temperatures have actually risen a little bit. It actually has, again, because you have that strong sun. This isn't really cold air that we're dealing with here, and that's the problem. That's what makes this whole storm so hard to deal with. You know, it's just one of those days, one of those things where the snow is going to be an effective elevation inland, and you know, along the coast, you're not going to see as much of it. You know, that's the thing. That's the problem. As far as total rainfall, you'll see here it still wants to add a little more rain liquid tomorrow. So like I said, it's still going to be wet tomorrow. It's still going to be lingering around. It's not going to be out of here until Wednesday that we're going to be dealing with this. We can look at, let me go back to the soundings here. So you can see we have like a little bit of a dry, in the morning it might actually be dry for a time, but then it kind of, as it rotates back, we're going to see this. Yeah, this is the unusual part of it. Okay, this from here, this is when it does this. That's, that shouldn't happen. And that's the issue that we have going into Wednesday. I can take some soundings and we'll see if we have any clear skies. We'll give it to the benefit of the doubt in 18Z. Oh, it's not telling me. It's saying it's not available. Let's see. Maybe no. For some reason, it doesn't want to go that far out. Let's see. Maybe we can get a sounding at 15Z. Nope, no sounding. All right, so we can't get a sounding that far out. But there's your low pressure system. And we also have the new NAM to work with too as well. So you go to the NAM 3. And you can see again, there's that snow that comes in the and you can see in the afternoon we may see snowflakes falling from the sky, but I just don't see it's no. If this can hang on until after sunset, then we can maybe pick up something. But you have to wait until sunset. And look at this thing; it's just bombed out. So let's see. Let's get a sounding here. 35. It has to be a little colder than that. If you can get the intensity, maybe, but I mean, you're fighting against so much just to get a little bit of snowfall here. You're fighting against so much. Total snowfall. Let's see if the NAM has. No, it's still kind of. You can see it's very low. It's like I said. It's not. It's going to have a lot of trouble sticking. You may see the flakes falling, but they're going to have a lot of trouble sticking. Well, I hope we see some flakes falling because I don't want to deal with more rain tomorrow. I really don't. I've had it with this damn rain. I really have. I'd rather it be some snow falling from the sky than dealing with the rain. At least we can get the temperatures cold enough we don't have to deal with the rain falling and we'll have snow instead. But look at how tight that low is. This is the NAM. Look at how deep that is. Can you imagine the kind of wind that's going to be around the center right here? Luckily, that center stays to the east of us, but I mean that's going to be a tremendous amount of wind there. I mean, look at that. That's just incredible right there. So you can see some very strong winds. Again, gusting possibly up to 70 miles an hour hurricane force along the Cape and the coast of Massachusetts there. It's going to cause a lot of power outages as well. So you're going to have that power outage risk coast of New England, and then inland you're going to have the power outage risk from the heavy snow. from this. So that's something to really look for as well. I mean, this is more of a nowcasting thing. Just for the heck of it, we'll throw in the skies here, and you see Wednesday. We may have a chance at some sunshine later on in the day. Perhaps we may actually clear it out by maybe noon. Start seeing the sun come out, and we will have some sun in the afternoon, perhaps. It would be nice if we had some fresh snow to enjoy that sun with, but I don't know, man. I'm not too confident, but, maybe we can get lucky, but I just don't see it, unfortunately. I just don't see it. I know there's some people out there yours truly included, looking forward to seeing a little snow on the ground, but I just don't see it. I don't see it at all, unfortunately. Let's go over to windy.com next. And, I don't think I did this in the last one. So, again, we're going to do kind of visualizing the storm here. I'll put wind gusts here. This is the European model that it uses. All right, so you can see visualizing the wind gusts here. And, the winds are going to pick up tomorrow afternoon. You can see along the coast, they got some pretty strong wind gusts there. But we're going to see some pretty strong wind gusts, too, as well. Tomorrow, and that's why we had the wind. I don't know why they left NASA out of the wind advisory. I think we're going to need the wind advisory. I think the whole area is going to need the wind advisory, and then you can see the wind start to pick up even more as we get toward the evening. And then look at some of these winds just over in this section here. That's 84-mile-an-hour winds. So it's very hard to predict where those strong winds are going to actually occur, but I'm saying there's a good risk along the coast in New England to see some of these pretty strong winds across the area here. And again, there's for us, luckily, we're not dealing with anything too crazy. The winds do die down by Wednesday. Here we are, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Actually, they don't die down that much. We're still dealing with wind gusts up near 46 miles an hour on Long Island and 45 in New Jersey, according to the Euro. And I have a feeling if I switch this over to clouds, well, we'll see some clouds over the island, but it looks like a little less over New Jersey. But these winds are going to be pretty substantial for sure. Just for the heck of it, we'll go to precipitation, snow, new snow, and see what it's showing. You could see, let's see, the European has, basically not giving us much. It's all inland that you're going to be dealing with these heavier snows. Places like this is where you're going to, all right, it's not going to be that much because this is assuming a 10-to-1 ratio, which is going to be less than that. But still, 2 feet are a good bet in some of these inland areas, in the mountains areas, for sure. And we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But again, I'm kind of done looking at the models here. We're just kind of looking at what's going on currently as the storm develops. And we watch the heavy rain come in here. And again, this is our radar again. I'll show you the radar if I didn't already. There it is. It's pretty heavy. You can see we're getting soaked there. Definitely getting soaked there. You can see almost a little dry slot, though, trying to possibly come in. So maybe within the next hour or two, maybe the rain will let up a little bit. We'll just have to deal with some drizzle, but over Long Island here right now. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for sure. And you can see, again, this is what we got going on. So a soaking rain in progress tonight, and we'll watch the winds pick up as the storm intensifies. And sometime in the morning, I'll have the next update on this storm. It'll be a lot more intense, and we should be seeing this line of blue make its way a little further to the south. And hopefully maybe sometime tomorrow we'll actually see some flakes falling from the sky. So that's going to be it for this weather storm update. Have a good night.